Yo, welcome back to Dolphins United, the platform for Dolphins. You heard me, we back in the house. Been a little minute. But trust me, this video is going to be worth it because your boy's been in the lab, okay? Been watching film. I've been trying to find out certain things about Tua's game, okay? And what I found out is maybe shocking to some of y'all, and to some of y'all, it ain't shocking at all. But either way, we'll get into the video. You'll be able to state your piece in the comments, and we can go back and forth about it. I can already tell people are going to really be butthurt and aggravated about this video. But understand, read the shirt, okay? No matter what, win, lose, or draw, I am a Dolphin lifer, okay? I mean no harm by this video whatsoever. I'm just stating facts. Don't shoot the messenger, all right? Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, before I get into the body of the video, let's go ahead and talk about some lighter things. All right, now some people are probably wondering where the heck my roster breakdown videos are for the upcoming training camp. They're coming, okay? Those videos, they're coming, and they're going to be coming in succession. I'm talking about pretty much every day over the next few weeks, all right? But that's not the first video I wanted to do because I've been labbing, like I said, watching a lot of film. I wanted to see certain things about Tua's game, certain things I can't reveal, certain things I can reveal, and we're going to get into it, right? So one of the main things that I was looking for in Tua's game were, you know, to see any tendencies, right? What does he struggle doing? What was going on around him? Because when you watch so many games, you lose a little bit of, you know, what makes a guy and how a guy struggled, what was going on around him when he was struggling. You lose some of that because we're just expecting that, or we're thinking that Tua had Tyreek Hill and Waddle this whole time when that's not the truth, right? Or he had Teron Armstead this whole time when that's not the truth, right? Like, he's had some trash around him, let's be honest, over the course of these years. Now, this year, notwithstanding. But before that, man, it was pretty bad around Tua in the run game, in the blocking. It was just pretty bad. Now, sometimes he was making do. Sometimes he wasn't. He was succumbing to all that. But at the end of the day, what I realized is that Tua really ain't that bad a quarterback, okay? I don't know why we're so stuck on Tua being trash when you actually watch the games, there was a lot of good there. Was there bad? Of course there was. But are we really going to count the bad against Tua that much when he had a bunch of trash around him? And on top of that, he was learning, right? First year, thrown in there, barely healthy, right? Like, when I say barely healthy, I don't mean that he wasn't 100%. I just mean that his body had just healed, all right? So, yeah, he was 100%, but should he have really played? No, all right? But anyway, that's besides the point. Now, if you're looking at the background, you're like, something looks a little different. It's because it is a little different because I am in a different room. I am in a different home, all right? This is the best setup I can come up with right now, all right? We had to downgrade so we can upgrade in the future. Some of y'all adults know what that is, all right? So that's what we're doing right now, all right? We're taking a step back to take 3 or 4 major steps forward in the near future. So this is my setup for now. And then when you see my final stage setup, wherever I end up at, then you're going to be like, okay. And then maybe then I'll shed a little more light on the situation. But this just is what it is. This is going to be the setup for this season of the Miami Dolphins. All right. Now, we don't know what's going to happen for the 2024-25 season, or 2023-2024, however you want to say it. We don't know what that's going, not 2023-2024. 2024-25 was right. But for the 23-24 season, this is going to be the setup. All right, with my trusty Xbox Series X controller in the frame. I'm an Xbox guy. All right, anyway, let's get on with the rest of this doggone video, because that's what you're here for. Tua really ain't that bad a quarterback. Now, Tua did have some problems holding on to the doggone football. He's gotten a lot better with that. He also struggled to push the ball down the field early on. He's gotten better with that. He also was better early on getting to his check down. He got worse with that somehow. He also struggled with ball placement, still does at times. He was pretty good in the pocket, has gotten even better, right? As far as evading pressure, right? So there's some areas where Tua got better and is getting better every year. There are some areas where he's gotten worse, and there are some areas where he just completely improved where it was non-existent, like the deep ball throwing, right? It just was non-existent before, and then from going from non-existent to one of the best in the league, that's what he did last year. Here's what I also say. Coaching did play a factor in how Tua performed. After watching, and when I say I watch every game, I'm talking about every game. Now, sucks that Tua didn't have any preseason games his rookie year because they wiped all those out for COVID. All right? But from that first Jets game all the way, which I don't really count that game in stats, right? That game don't count for nothing because it was 2 passes for 9 yards. He did get the lone third down completion of the game, but that game don't really count for nothing, all right? It really starts with the Rams. But from those games all the way up till his last game with the Packers, I watched every last snap. All of them. And in those first 2 years without Mike McDaniel, I'm going to tell y'all straight up. They did not trust Tua. Yes, there were times we went for it on 4th down. But that's because Flores was an aggressive coach. But there were a lot of times on 3rd 10, 3rd 12, 3rd 15, 3rd and 18 plus that instead of doing what Mike McDaniel was doing with Tua, which is, all right, we're going to try to go pick this up. There was none of that. 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, hike, draw. It was automatic, all right? You're not helping your quarterback by making him do a draw on all of those plays. You got to give him a chance to just air it out. Try something. You're at the 60-yard, I said 60-yard line. What's that? You're at the 40-yard line on your side. 45-yard line on your side. It's 3rd and 15. Let the man chuck it down the field. Maybe you can get a pass interference. Maybe he can complete it. You never know. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, it's an interception way deep and then you tackle him and it's as good as a punt. Who cares? Air it out. Just let the man throw it. You can't go running draw plays every doggone 3rd and long. They had no trust in Tua whatsoever. It is so blatant. When you're watching the film, it is blatant. Like, out of nowhere, I'm like, oh my God, they don't trust Tua. Like, they really didn't trust him. And it wasn't because of anything he did. It's just the fact that they didn't trust him. Flores didn't trust the man to complete any long 3rd downs, period. Whereas Mike McDaniel, it was 3rd and 12, 3rd and something. Of course, every now and then, 3rd and 20 something, you're gonna throw a screen pass or you're gonna run a draw. You got to be smart, right? Especially in your own territory, deep in your own territory. You got to be smart. But there were a lot of times where, sorry, this thing is falling down a little bit there. There were a lot of times where Mike McDaniel was throwing the ball. Like, we're going to attack the middle of the field. Whatever happens, happens. Like, he was throwing the football. You could tell that he trusted Tua, right? That's one thing that screams out to me. But with that trust also comes confidence, right? When your quarterback, when your coach believes in you, believes that you can complete that 3rd and 12 in your own territory, it gives you the confidence to go out there and try and make something happen for your coach. Tua didn't have that support. He didn't. All right, we don't got to get into all the other stuff that happened where it showed that they didn't trust Tua because it was a lot, right? We don't got to get into all that, but they did not trust Tua. That is not good. That's not what you want for your quarterback. That's not how you want things to go at all, right? But that's what happened. It kind of just is what it is. Tua now has a different situation where they trust him, and it's worked out well for both parties, okay? Now, here's the body. Because I say all that to say, I watched the film, right? And Tua ain't as bad as people make him out to be. But Tua does have a kryptonite. And what is that kryptonite? Everybody, let's say it together. Staying healthy, right? That is Tua's kryptonite. Tua's kryptonite is staying healthy. The man can't stay healthy to save his life. Like, he just can't do it, right? He's missed, I think, his first year, I think he missed 1 game. Second year, he missed 4 or something like that. Third year, he missed 4 or 5, whatever it was. He's missed way too many games. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Oh, no. See, there's another Tua kryptonite out there. There's a kryptonite that has held Tua back ever since he's got into the league. And that kryptonite is what we're here to talk about. Now, this one you probably didn't see coming. This one might make your butt pucker up a little bit, right? This one's going to hurt some of you Tua non-fans. Tua's other kryptonite, lesser known, lesser talked about kryptonite that I want to share with you guys right now is that in big games, Tua struggles to play well. Now, let's get all the excuses out of the way. Well, like you said at the beginning of the video, he didn't have that good of weapons around him. That's true. Offensive line, a lot of sacks. He couldn't run the football. Also true. I'm not going to be going over sacks. The incompetence of the offensive play calling. That's all true. Well, I don't know what you wanted. They didn't trust him. That's true as well. But you know what also is true? I'm going to tell you what else is true. All right? All those excuses, you want to use them, valid. All right? I'm going to validate all those excuses. They're valid. All right? How about that? For the sake of this video. But you also want to know what's valid? That what Tua can control, Tua needs to control. Tua controls where he puts a ball. Plain and simple. Now, he can't control if the wide receiver catches it or not. But where he pinpoints that pass, he controls that. He controls in the red zone where there are guys wide open and he pulls the trigger to throw the ball there. He controls that. That's happened where he's missed guys in the end zone, right? He controls that. That's point. Points leads to wins. He controls that. He controls his completion percentage. He controls his turnover ratio to touchdown ratio. He controls these things. All right, those are the things that Tua controls. And when I say touchdown to interceptions, not more so. I mean, he does control getting more touchdowns by hitting the open guy, but he also controls not throwing stupid passes as well, right? And not putting himself in positions to have to throw stupid passes because of a sack that he's allowed himself to get on a previous play, which that happens as well. But we're not going to talk about sacks because sacks, it's hard to know whose fault it is, right? Kind of like interceptions, but interceptions, more often than not, it's the quarterback's fault, all right? There are a few times where pop-ups happen and things like that, but more often than not, it's the quarterback's fault. Now, let's get into the stats. I'm going to preface it by saying, big games, for the sake of this video, are the last 4 games of the year. Now, this past year, Tua didn't play the last 4 games. So we're going to do his last 4. All right? That's how we're going to do it. But the last 4 games of the year really is what, if you're in the hunt, is what determines if you can get in or not. Because you win all those games, then you're getting in. If you were in the hunt, right? If you lose 2, win 2, whatever it is. Those are the games that really allow you to get your position straight, going and making a push for the playoffs. All right? Last 4 games is what we want to go off of solely. Yes, there are other big games, Monday night games and national Sunday night games and stuff like that during the season. Yes, those are big games too. But we're only, for the sake of this video, going to do the January football games leading up to the playoffs. Because Tua hasn't played in the playoffs. Otherwise, I would do those stats as well. Just wanted to put that out there to let y'all know that's how we doing this, all right? So, let's read off some stats. Mind-blowing stuff for me. Maybe you already knew this, but I wanted to bring this to the Dolphin fan base because this is something that Tua has to get better at. If we're going to win a Super Bowl, if we're going to go make a deep playoff push, Tua has to play way better than he's been playing in big games. He cannot play. Yes, he has another kryptonite, injuries. He's got to fix that too. But you fix the injuries, you don't fix this, still not making it deep in the playoffs. Plain and simple. Might not even make the playoffs. All right, now let's get into it. 12 big games for Tua. Okay? In those big games, he's 229 out of 383 completion, right? 59.8% completion percentage in those 12 games. Yards per game, 217, sorry. TDs per game on average, 1.4. 14 touchdowns in those 12 games, 3 running. Okay? So 17 total touchdowns for a 1.4 average. Interceptions, 14 total interceptions in those 12 games for a 1.2 average. His passer rating in those 12 big games, 80.3. His QBR in those big games, 37.4. Win percentage in those 12 games, 5 wins, 7 losses, 42% win percentage. All right? That, my friends, is what you call trash. Okay? You play 12 big games. All right? Once again, last 4 games of the year. And you are 59% quarterback. 217 yards per game. 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio with a 42% win rate and an 80 passer rating. That's trash. It's trash. If that's what the quarterback would put out through a whole year, you're getting rid of him. All right? Let's imagine that a quarterback was 59%, 217 yards a game, 1 touchdown, 1 interception a game, doggone, what's this guy's name? Jameis Winston numbers, all right? 30 for 30s, right? 80%, not 80%, 80 passer rating, you're cutting them. Let's be honest, all right? That's what Tua's been in the big games. He's had some good ones, all right? He's got 5 wins, 7 losses. So he's had some good ones, but he's had some really bad ones, okay? Really, really, really bad ones. It gets better. In all the other games that he's played in, minus the first Jets game where he came in for the last few minutes, right? 23 games. 477 out of 693 completions, okay? Or attempts. So he's completed 477 out of 693 for 68.8%. Bad games or big in the big games, the 12, 59%. In all the other games, 68% completion percentage. Yards per game, 235 to the 217 in the big games. All right, so it jumped up a little bit. Touchdowns, 1.8 touchdowns a game. Where in the other games, in the big games, it was 1.4. All right, so almost 2 touchdowns a game to the 1.4. 38 touchdowns in 23 games. Passing, 3 rushing for 41 total. All right. Interceptions, 9 interceptions in 23 games. He has 14 interceptions in 12 games, and on the other 23 games, 9. Which is less than half an interception a game. Guys, the man throws where is it? I think it's like 0.4 interceptions a game. Other than the big games, where he's 1.2, okay? Passer rating in those 23 games is 100.1. QBR in those 23 games, 62.5. 37.4 in the big games. All the other games, 62.5. 100%. 100 passer rating in the other games. In the big games, 80 passer rating. Okay? There's a big disparity here between Tua in all the other games and then Tua in the big games. Now, I know TD's been talking about this. I know DDW's talked about this before. These guys have talked about this. I'm actually giving you the stats of this now. All right? Maybe TD has done this in the past as well, giving you the stats. I'm doing it this way for you. I'm painting this picture for you. Tua has to be better. Well, DP, what is his win percentage? Glad you asked. 17 wins, 6 losses in those 23 games for 74% win percentage. All right? When it comes to all those other games, Tua is a really good quarterback. Still could improve the passing yards per game and the touchdowns per game. All right? You'd want that over 2. But it's not bad. I'll take a quarterback that is 68% completion, 200 and darn near 40 yards a game, which is 235, but 240. Let's say 240 a game. Almost 2 touchdowns to half an interception a game. All right. And then 100 passer rating. I'll take that. Sign me up. I'm cool with that. And the 74% win percentage, I'll take that. Sign me the heck up. Now, some of y'all Tua haters, here's what you're going to say. I get it. Well, you're counting these games as wins, but the defense won a lot of those games too. Yeah, I know. But still, he was a part of it because he didn't contribute to them losing those games. They won them. So that's it. He gets the credit too. All right. Same way they all get the credit, Tua gets the credit. All right. So I understand that there's defensive touchdowns, things like that, and that's why they win certain games, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I get it, but they won them. You can't take them away from him. All right. So Tua in those 23 games, 17 wins to doggone 6 losses. In the big games, 5 wins to 7 losses. He has more losses in about half the games, okay, in the big games. That cannot be the case this year. Tua has to be better than 59% passing, completion percentage, and a 1-to-1 TD to interception ratio in the big games. If he does better in the big games, way better than that. I mean, he got to be way better than that. We will see a way better Tua, a way better team, a way better chance at winning a Super Bowl. I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Y'all already know what it is. Fins up till we die. Win, lose, or draw, I'm a Dolphin fan. You can't hate on me. All right? Well, you can't hate on me. You can try. But either way, I got to give y'all the facts. I got to let y'all know what it is because y'all have to have realistic views going into this season, a realistic opinion going into this season about what it is we really need to see from Tua. All right, we need to see Tua take a jump in big games. He struggled in big games this year. He lost all 4 of the big games he was in this year. All 4 of them. All right, so you count them up. You got 7 losses. So in 2 years, in all those big games, they lost 3 times. This past year, you lost 4. He got worse in those big games. So Tua has to get better in those big games because I know some of y'all, oh, well, Tua was really good last year. Oh, no, not in the big games he wasn't. All right? When it comes to the big games, Tua was not good. He lost 4 straight big games. Now, did he play okay in some of those games? At times, yes. Buffalo game, still lost. All right? The loss counts. If the wins count, the losses count. All right? I'll holler at y'all in the next one. Like I said, y'all already know. Fins up till we die. I'm out.